Hello, and welcome to this introduction to user experience testing. User experience testing is an invaluable tool that any business should take advantage of. In fact, according to Forrester Research, Fortune 1000 companies spend an average of $2 million per year on site redesigns, without knowing if the redesign made the site easier to use. So what is user experience testing? Quite simply, it's assessing the ease of use of a product, service, interface, website, or anything else by getting feedback from people who are actually using the product. The goal is to determine if a website or product is designed and performs in an intuitive manner to end users. User experience researchers are the voice of the user and work to inform companies of how they can improve websites and products for their target users' intents. There are several methodologies that researchers can use to evaluate business and design decisions that affect the end user experience. This research can be performed at any phase of the design process, from initial concepts, such as paper prototypes, screenshots and wireframes, more advanced designs, such as clickable prototypes, built-out beta versions, or live designs. This testing is typically qualitative in nature, although there can sometimes be a quantitative component. So with that brief description, let's examine some of the myths and realities of user experience testing. Myth: user experience testing and marketing research are the same thing. Actually, the reality is that they're quite different. With market research, the goal is to find out what users want or if new ideas are worth pursuing by surveying a large sample of users. While this research is done to meet user demand for a product or service, it is also to create higher revenues for an organization. The goal of user experience testing, however, is to test how concepts are presented and determine how these concepts can be improved to create a more positive user experience. If the result of changes made from user experience testing is increased revenue, so be it. However, user experience testing and marketing research can work hand in hand to ensure that new designs and concepts trending in the market are implemented in an intuitive manner so they are not only popular but easy to use. Myth: focus groups and user experience testing are the same thing. The reality is that focus groups are good for gathering opinions, desires, and more from a collaborative group of consumers, but they don't allow users to truly assess a product. On the other hand, user experience testing is most often performed in a one-on-one environment where the participant is actively involved in using the product and discussing their successes and failures in real time. Myth: user experience testing is a huge time commitment and cost prohibitive because it requires many participants. In fact, most high-level usability issues can be identified with as little as 5 to 8 users. Even sites or products that target very different personas can often be assessed with a small number of participants, as user experience testing is focused on ease of use rather than customer opinion and perception. Myth: user experience testing is only focused on graphics and aesthetics. Actually, while graphics and aesthetics can be brought up during user experience testing, this is primarily done when those items impact the ease of use. There are often times when a more reserved site is preferred by users because it has few distracting visuals, making it easy for users to identify their various options. Myth: expert analysis or a seasoned UX designer is a suitable replacement for user experience testing. There is definitely a place for expert analysis in the design process. However, while best practices and other guidelines exist for a reason, we can sometimes be surprised by a site or product's performance when tested by actual users. Certain circumstances or expectations often warrant deviation from a best practice, which is why it is crucial to do user experience testing. Myth: I have to wait until late in the development process to do user experience testing. In reality, user experience testing is beneficial at all stages of design and production. In fact, the earlier you test your concepts, the better. Testing in the early stages of design is extremely beneficial as it allows you to test possible concepts and ideas before dedicating time and resources to building potentially problematic designs. And it's not difficult for users to visualize concepts, as long as there is a moderator who can skillfully paint the picture of what would occur if the website or product were currently available. Testing during the design process also has its benefits. It allows you to make rapid changes to prototypes based on user feedback and performance. Then, test those changes to ensure improvement. Finally, testing after design is completed, or sometime after an initial rollout, is very beneficial as well. It allows users to interact with the completed design, which allows you to identify all manner of additional usability issues that may not arise when looking at high-level design concepts. It is also a great way to validate design decisions once a website or product have been released. Okay, so now that you have a better grasp on user experience testing, what do you do next? First, determine your target audience. You should understand who your product or website's intended users are. If you're targeting a specific demographic, those are the people you should talk to during user experience testing. Second, determine your objectives. Explore the various aspects, process flows, etc. of your product or website and understand where you'd like to see improvement. The best way to approach user experience testing is with specific goals in mind. If you try to tackle everything at once, you'll miss out on valuable feedback. Finally, contact us. We can review your objectives and then help you to determine the best way to meet them. You can find us at usabilitysciences.com or by clicking the link below. We hope this was a helpful introduction to user experience testing, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.